Hi my loves, welcome to my channel. Today I'm making chicken kebabs. I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. Please be patient with me. This is my first upload. I'm a bit nervous, but I hope you guys enjoy.
Okay, so guys, we're gonna get started on our chicken kebabs. We're gonna start with our salt, about 2 teaspoons of salt, about 3 teaspoons or 2.5 to 3 teaspoons of crushed pepper, and about a good handful of cilantro. While this meat rests, we're gonna go over to the stove and we're gonna start sauteing our onions with our tomatoes. Okay, so we're gonna start with about a half a cup of oil. And for this, you need a large wok that has a lot of working space because we're gonna be laying the kebabs out flat so they can cook on one side, and then we're gonna turn them and cook them on the other side. Once the oil is slightly warm, we're gonna add in our onions that are sliced into rounds. Just gently put them in here. And we're not going to let them soften too much. We don't want them to soften too much because we want the onions to still be visible. You can see that the onions are getting a little soft now, and I've broken them apart so they're it's an individual ring. Just waiting for them to get just a little bit softer so I can add the tomatoes and the serrano chilies in. And the heat is on about medium, not too high, not too low, because I don't want these to burn on the outside. I want them to stay this light color. Now you see them getting slightly translucent. We're going to go ahead and throw in the tomatoes. These are also two tomato rounds, 2 medium tomatoes cut into rounds. We're going to do the same with these, just slightly soften them before we put in our spices. I actually learned this dish from my mom's friend many years ago. As I was growing up, I was maybe around 16, 17, and her version was with beef and many different spices, but I just kind of invented my own version by changing up the onions, the tomatoes, and just using a lot less dry spice. And enhancing the flavor with just natural ingredients like tomatoes and onions and serranos and things like that. While the tomatoes are still softening, we are going to throw in some of our spices. I'm going to add in about 2 teaspoons of crushed pepper. This may seem like a lot, but this is according to my taste. You are more than welcome to adjust the flavor to your liking, less or more, however you like it. I'm going to add in about 2 teaspoons or so of paprika, and this is just basically for color. And I'm going to add in about like maybe 2 or 3 big pinches of cilantro. And now I'm also going to throw in the serrano chilies. Mix it well and just let it cook on medium-low heat until the tomatoes have wilted down and the sauce starts to look like a thick gravy, and it has a nice bed for the kebabs to sit on. Keep the heat on medium to medium-low. Don't have it too high. So as you can see that the tomatoes have wilted down quite a bit, so have the onions, and now everything has become practically one, but you still see the onions are very much still intact. They haven't disintegrated completely. At this point, we're going to turn the stove all the way down to low and start layering in our kebabs one at a time, and we're going to let them cook completely on one side and then flip them halfway through. So here we're going to take our kebabs and just start layering them in slowly, just so they don't break or fall apart. As you can see, I have placed them all in one single layer, and now I'm waiting for them to cook on that one side so I can flip them over and cook them on the other side. I've turned the heat up just a little bit so they can start to cook a little faster, but otherwise keep the flame on medium-low just so they don't burn. They are just about cooked on one side. I'm getting ready to flip them. I'm going to separate them a little bit just so I have some wiggle room here. And this is how I flip them. I'm going to show you. I'm not going to use this spoon. I'm going to actually do it with my hands and just use the pot. This loosens them from the bottom. There we go. Just do that for a few minutes and they should be pretty solid and they shouldn't break on you. Let's see. Yeah. There we go. I'm going to use a fork to flip each individual kebab. Okay, so now I've flipped all of the kebabs over and they're cooking on the other side. Now I'm going to crank up the heat so all this liquid can reduce and these kebabs can cook all the way through. At this point, you can go ahead and mix it as you need because they're not going to fall apart anymore. Still be very gentle because they're chicken, so I don't want them to fall apart. You can adjust the spices as you like. You can taste the curry or the sauce in here and adjust it to your liking. If it's not salty enough, add some salt. If it's not spicy enough, you can add some crushed pepper, or you can add a little more serrano, jalapeno, red chili. Customize it however you like. We're just gonna crank this up so I'm super high now, and just gonna reduce this liquid a little bit and let these cook all the way through. When everything looks nice and combined and it looks like the gravy is starting to evaporate, cover with a lid. I don't have a lid, so I'm just putting foil. Cover with whatever you have and let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes on super, super low, so that way all the juices can be taken in by the chicken. And this will just give it another extra enhanced bit of flavor. And it's done. Everything looks beautiful.
السلام عليكم ومرحبا بكم من جديد في قناه امل كيتشن. اليوم غادي نوريكم كيفاش كنقدم طبق ديال افغان تشيكن كباب على الطريقه ديال لي ريستورون. الوصفات عندي هما في دي فيديو من قبل في القناه ديالي، غادي نحط لكم الروابط، ولكن غادي نوريكم انا الطريقه كيفاش كنحط هذا الطبق. بسم الله. هنايا ديجا انا صغبت تشيكن كباب، درتو في القطبان، وكما كنقول لكم راه عندي طريقه غادي نحط لكم الرابط، وغادي نوريكم حتى الفيديو اللي انا التوابل اللي كنستعمل. هو سيرتو التقنيه باش ان التشيكن كباب يرجع لنا يجي زوين. انا دائما كندهنو بالزيت، بزيت البلدي، بزيت العاديه او زيت البلديه كما تحبوا نتوما، وكندهنو من الفوق فاش كندهنو قبل من التحت، وكنحطو نحت القضبان وعاد تندهنو من الفوق بالزيت كما كتشوفوا بحال هكايا. انا عندي باربيكيو عادي، اللذه ديال الكباب كتجي اش كنقولوا حنا الباربيكيو ديال الفاخر، هذا ديال الغاز. وكنبقى مستمره مع المراقبه، كنبقى نقلب القطبان على جوج جوايه، كنشوف ان حتى تتحيد منهم داك الماء ديال كما نقولوا العصير ديال الدجاج، عاد تنعرفوا ان التشيكن كباب راه طاب. وبارفو كنغطيه وكنخليه شويه، من ان الا غطيتوه غفلت عليه غير شويه راه كيتحرق. واللون اللي كتشوفوه هنايا اللون ديال الكباب هو زدت له شويه تيرميريك، لان انا ديجا عندي العطريه اللي كنستعمل، وراه ديجا انا هضرت شنو هي التوابل اللي كنطيب بها، وغادي نحط لكم الرابط كما قلت، كنعاودها من جديد. وها هو الكباب تشيكن افغان تشيكن كباب وجد لينا، ودرت معاه شلاضه ديال الخس مع رقائق ديال الخيار والفجل والبصله رقيقه، وما درت فيها حتى شي حاجه ناشفه، شلاضه ناشفه. عندي هنايا الدريسين بلساميك فينيغريت، هذا خديته من تريدر جو، وهذه عندي باش غادي نحط فيها الدريسين. وانا ديجا طيبت الارز الافغاني، وغادي نحط لكم الرابط، وراني ديجا هضرت عليه في الفيديو اللي سبق بانني كنطيبو بواحد الطريقه اللي كتجي سهله، وغادي نحط لكم كذلك الرابط كما قلت. ونبداو بسم الله. هنا ديجا عندي التبصيل واجد. غادي نوضعوا الارز في واحد الجانب، مقدار ديال معلقه حتى 2 معلقات على حساب الكميه ديال الشخص اللي غادي ياكل. غادي نوضعوا 2 قطبان ديال افغان تشيكن كباب في الجنب، وغادي نحتاج شويه الارز باش نوضعوا داك لا سالاد اللي هي من الخس والفجل والخيار والبصله. البصله غير رقيقه، قطعتها رقيقه وطويله.
That's going to go in a frying pan, cook it up for a minute or two, toast them, get the aromas out. Once you've done that, put them in a pestle and mortar, grind them right down into a sort of powder. So that's going to be a lovely flavour there. Now we're also going to use some ground spices as well. I've got 1 teaspoon of fenugreek, 2 teaspoons of turmeric, 2 teaspoons of paprika, 1 teaspoon of chili powder. Now you could add an extra one in if you want, nice and hot, but I'm just going to use 1. Then we've got 1/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and then 1 teaspoon of salt. Now we've also got 4 cloves of garlic. Peel those, crush them down, and I've got a piece of ginger, fresh ginger, probably about 40 grams there, good sized piece, bigger than me thumb. Peel that, grate that down, and then that all gets mixed in with some yogurt. Now I've got 150 grams of natural yogurt. This is a Greek yogurt, so that all just gets mixed. That's going to be in a marinade, and then we rub it all over the chicken, and that will be delicious. Now I've also got 1 lime there. Now what I'm going to do is just chop that into segments and nestle that in between the bits of chicken. So there's all the sort of spices and, you know, for making up the marinade. Now we've also got the chicken pieces as well. So what we do is, once we've got the marinade all ready, I'll show you the chicken. We're going to make some cuts in it, and then we're going to rub all that marinade over the chicken. So I'm going to go over to the hob first of all and just sort of toast these spices here. Now, just to show you, this is the husk, the sort of shells for the cardamom pod. So I've taken all the seeds out. Now, what we can do is just put that in there all together. Switch the heat on, medium or below, I would say. So let's just switch it on. Now, you only want to do this 1 to 2 minutes. You'll know when it's time because your kitchen is going to smell wonderful. The aromas are going to come out, and oh, it's going to be delicious. And now and again, give them a mix around. Now you notice we're using a dry pan. There's no oil or anything in here, so just keep moving them around so they all get nice and toasted. I'm just starting to get a little hint of these smells, and it's, oh, Lovely. Now I've had mine cooking for a couple of minutes and I reckon they're pretty much done. Nicely toasted, beautiful aromas are coming off here. So I'm going to put that straight in my pestle and mortar, like that. I'm going to take it over to the table and we can start grinding it all up. Now what I'm going to do is, with my pestle and mortar, I'm just going to give them a good old bashing and carry on until they've turned into like a powder. So I'll carry on doing that. Now with the toasted spices, I was bashing them and now I've been grinding them and I've got a lovely powder there, so that's ready to go. Now I'm going to move that aside, get myself a bowl and we're going to start making up this marinade. So let's start with the spices. And we've got those ground spices, obviously we didn't toast these, just came straight out of the pot. And I've got the ginger and the garlic. And then we've got this yogurt. That's it. Now really, you can just give this a bit of a mix. Now I'm going to put that aside because that's all done, smells wonderful. Going to grab me chicken. Now what I'm going to do with the chicken is get myself a knife. I'll just do it with one of them and then you can do it with the rest. Just grab it and in the thickest part just kind of cut down a little bit. Try and use a sharp knife and mind your fingers. So carry on doing that with all the rest. So I've finished all the bits of chicken. Now that'll help to get the flavours into the meat, but also help them to cook as well. So what I'm going to do is, I've chopped up my lime. I'm just going to grab one of the limes and just rub it where you've cut it really into slits. So I'm just going to do that again with all the rest. So now we've got the chicken prepared. I'm just going to start off spooning some of this on each one of them. And then I'm going to rub them in, so we're going to thoroughly rub this in. Now I'm just going to rub this all over. You really want to kind of massage it in, all the nooks and crannies. Lovely. Oh, this is going to make it so delicious. So once you've done that, obviously just do it with all the rest. Again, just give it a final rub. Lovely. Oh. Now also, with these little bits of lime, I'm just going to nestle those along there for now. So I've got my chicken pieces, we've got the marinade on there. Now what I'm going to do is cover it with some cellophane, place it in the fridge. Now you want to leave it in the fridge to marinate for at least 4 hours, up to 24 hours. Obviously the longer you leave it, the more intense the flavour will be. But even after 4 hours, this will still taste really delicious. So put some cellophane, pop it in the fridge and cook it when you need to. That's it. So I'll see you tomorrow. Now it's the next day. Now I left my chicken in the end for 24 hours because I really want to get loads of flavour in the chicken. But like I say, if you can't leave yours 24 hours, try and at least give it 4 hours. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to unwrap the cellophane, like so. Oh yeah, look at that. Lovely. Smells really nice, even when you take that bit of cellophane off. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to transfer mine onto a wire rack and we're going to cook it in the oven. Now, I'm actually going to switch my oven on, temperature-wise, 180 degrees Celsius, 350 degrees Fahrenheit, gas mark 4. Now, the oven's just come up to temperature, so it's preheated. So let's place the chicken in there. And what I'm going to do is approximately cook for about 45 minutes. So I'll probably have a look at mine round about the 40-minute mark. And, you know, cook it a little bit longer if we need, just to finish it off. You're really looking for a nice golden brown colour, and also you can always test to see if your chicken's done, because if you stick a knife or a skewer in and the juices run clear, then it's cooked. So leave that and I'll see you in about 40-45 minutes. Now I've had the chicken cooking for just over 40 minutes, so 40. Now I'm going to pull that out. Check to make sure it's cooked, which I think it is. It's got a beautiful colour on it. Look at that. Absolutely delish. I'm going to put that on the table, have a look at it, and then we'll leave a bit of tin foil over it just to tenderise. So I've got my chicken, as I say, I cooked mine for just over 40 minutes, but you know, always check it and make sure it's nicely cooked. Now, the way we can do that is just grab one of the sort of thicker parts of the meat, give it a squash down, again give it a squeeze, and you see the juices came out clear. So that's nicely cooked. Nice easy way to do it, but otherwise you can always open it up just to make sure on one of them. But mine's all done. Now what I'm going to do is to leave mine just to tenderise for about 10 minutes. So just loosely pop a little bit of tin foil over it. Leave it for 10 minutes to tenderise, and then we'll come back and try one. Now, I am going to choose one of the bits of chicken, and in fact, I'm going to add that one that was at the front with the crusty bits on, because it looks absolutely yum. Look at that. Now also, with this lime that's been roasting in the oven, you can just squeeze any juice you can get out of there on there. Oh, that's lovely. Now I made a quick mint sauce up. I mean, obviously you could serve this with rice, it could be part of your Sunday roast, nice salad, you know, you can do what you want with it, but I made this mint sauce up. I'm just going to serve a little bit in there like that. That'll do. Lovely. And it's nice and chilled as well. Lovely, lovely. Now, I'm just going to grab this in my hands. So, let's just have a look. Look at that. Oh, I'm going to try that. Try not to make any mess. This is wonderful. It's, oh, I want to savour every bit of that. That is so delicious. So many nice spices come through at the same time. Wow, lovely. You make this, you won't be disappointed.